Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
I think a little draft in here. I'm Jem.
You can listen to us every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on the YouTubes for your SmackDown. If you want to get a bit raw, head over to Thursdays, 8 a.m. podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. So we can watch the show. But if you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to the social groups such as like facebook.com/groups/thepopculturist, Discord, Twitter. Links are all in the description below. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist. Support us at any dollar value. Get yourself a nice little sneaky link where you can watch us record this show live 2 times a week. 3 times if you watch us do For the Plays as well, if you're into PlayStation stuff.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to support us in a more one-off fashion, however, head over to popculturist.com/shopping, buy shirts and other sort of shit with their logos on it. And we are also on a twitch.tv/thepopculturist on the new day of Thursday evenings. Bam, what's up?
Not much, man. Just reveling in that post-PAX glow, if you will. Big weekend had by all. How about yourself?
Tired as fuck.
Yeah.
So tired. So wrecked. I have PAX exhaustion. Not PAX POX this year. I'm actually pretty good.
Nice.
Normally I get really sick around PAX, but I think I played a little bit smarter this year. I think traveling less was a good idea. Because previously I would travel in and out from Geelong to here, but this year I stayed in the city, about a 10-minute walk from the venue. Now I didn't sleep a whole lot, did a lot of running around, that sort of stuff, but I think I played it smart. I did lose my voice, started my voice on Sunday.
Yeah.
However, I think a lot of that came from a lack of water, mismanagement of my voice, and the amount of smoke machines going off in the venue.
Yeah, that was a
lot.
lot.
Once I stopped talking for a while and I got home, it kind of cleaned out a little bit.
Nice.
I did start losing it at the end for the players yesterday.
Yeah.
And I might lose it again here at the end today.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's standing tall. Let's see how we go. You enjoy your PAX though?
I did. First PAX, I only did the one day, being that I worked all weekend, but no, it was awesome. I had a lot of fun.
I think next year we'll get there for all 3.
Yeah,
I think
I'm definitely going to be in a position where I can be there for all 3, so that'll be some fun, get some more hands-on-y with it. It'll be
one thing we did go and check out though,
Yes.
just being wrestling related.
Yeah.
You talk about it because I have to bounce halfway through to get back here.
Well, yeah, so we checked out a panel called WrestleBrania, which was like a comedy style,
It's a comedy style wrestling quiz show.
Yeah, exactly it. It was hilarious. So they do comedy festival and things like that as well. We were lucky enough to, while we were in the line, getting some sweet fake tattoos.
Yeah, mine's still rocking.
Yeah,
Did yours come off?
I washed mine off this morning. Can't have it at work, so.
Why not?
I could, but it would have been real mangy. It was already half off this morning. So.
Yeah, I have one shower and it's wrecked. So I'm going to scrub it off in the morning. But yeah, so in the line for the Ubisoft airbrush tattoo line, we met the gentleman who was hosting said panel. So yeah, he was lovely. He was wording us up.
Yeah, super hyped. He's heard of our show too. He's heard of our show too.
He was,
really cool.
Well, he was aware of the show in some capacity. I think because probably. I think we've tagged MCW and some stuff in the past, so I think maybe it's come across that way. But yeah, and he was way more interested in talking to you. Yeah. Because he was like, "What, you talk about wrestling?" And I was like, "Oh, I really like the storyline where Smell Joe wanted to be the father of AJ," and he went, "Huh," and then fucking looked straight at you. I was like, "Well, fuck you too, man." That was fine. He was lovely.
He was so good.
But we're on stage. He was absolutely fantastic.
Killing it. It was really funny. Like you said, you had to bail out early.
I did. In order to go pick up my car from the hotel, I did have to leave a little bit early. But yeah, the start of it was absolutely killer. The comedic timing was on point by him as well as everyone on the panel. They had a couple of local talent comedians as well as wrestlers. They had Dowie from MCW, probably the big one that most people would know.
Lily Faye's quite big as well in sort of your more international sort of rings as well. So that was really cool to have some an international superstar. In that.
And on top of that, it was fantastic to the dynamic of the show because they had 2 teams. One was the heel team, one was the face team. Awesome, great. It seems so simple, but it's genius.
Yeah. And the humor came from the leader of the face team. He was like, I know nothing about wrestling and haven't planned for this, and everybody's like, boo, And it's like it immediately turned the face team heel. It was hilarious. There was a lot of little bits and pieces like that. There was a PAX 24/7 championship made that changed hands about 3 or 4 times throughout the show, which was quite hilarious.
Yep. So the PAX 24/7 championship was just I think may have just been a Raw SmackDown, a Raw Tag Team Championship just repainted.
Yeah.
And you anyone had the belt, you could confront them for rock paper scissors, then you become champion.
It wasn't just that though. Like there was pins involved and stuff like that as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. One of the comedians was like, they were talking about like stealing questions from other people. He's like, "Oh, can I make a steal?" And Jeff, the guy running it, was like, "Yeah, sure." And he grabbed the belt. And he's like, "Not that kind of steal, you jerk."
Yeah.
He's like, "You didn't specify."
They played their part brilliantly. It was really cool because it's one of those things. They knew their audience. They knew their audience was wrestling fans, and they worked with it, and it sold it 100%. For the 25 or so minutes that I saw of it, I thought it was really on point.
Yeah, it was great.
I enjoyed it.
It was an hour long. It was really funny. It was. They do comedy festival, like they will be doing next year's comedy festival. I definitely recommend checking it out. You'll have a lot of fun. And I managed to win us a copy of WWE 2K20. So that releases on the 20th, I believe. A copy will be sent.
Yeah, it's like literally next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So this time next week it'll be out.
Yeah.
Well, some still picking up the collector's edition anyway. And I'm pretty sure 2K will probably hook us up as well.
Yeah, most likely.
We'll be just swimming in copies of 2K20.
Super excited.
Killer jumps in the chat. Goes, fingers crossed I'll be down there next year. Maybe showing off my game.
Heck yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll come harass you at your indie booth.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
That'd be awesome. But one thing that we did do over the PAX weekend is I watched like 4 hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
While everyone else is being social and gallivanting, and I'm like, I'm going back to the room and watch wrestling. So I watched AEW on Thursday. And SmackDown on Saturday. But that's what we're talking about here. This is our SmackDown show, for those that don't know. We do 2 shows a week, SmackDown, Raw. This is SmackDown time. Because I was watching it at PAX, I took no notes. I was sipping beers the whole time. So I don't really remember writing down stuff because I didn't. So this is all on you today.
It's all on me. So SmackDown this week was filmed in at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we open beautifully to a match. First match of the night is Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and the winner of this match dictates which brand gets the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, so there were some stipulations around the draft. So with Raw being a 3-hour show and SmackDown being a 2-hour show,
I've got them all here.
they got those draft. They got those. Yeah, cool. They got those things accordingly. So Raw was given 3 draft picks, and SmackDown were given 2 per round.
Yes. So, like you said, being a 3-hour show, obviously more superstars are needed. I'm sorry, wrestlers. Vince McMahon doesn't like the S word.
What? That's not wrestlers. He's changed his mind.
No. He doesn't like superstars. He doesn't like.
He's always been superstar. No, he's always been superstars because he doesn't like the term wrestler.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. Okay, my brain's just digged
which
out
is
then.
super weird. A little minor note, right? Because that's always been the rules. They've always been because for Vince McMahon, they are superstars. They're not wrestlers, so they've always been superstars. Yet, however, in a lot of the coverage here, in a lot of the crosses to the Fox people, which we'll get to shortly, they all refer to him as wrestlers. I thought it was very cool. So maybe he's loosened up his restrictions, or they're like, they can't make him shoot it again. Yeah.
So it does open with this match. Beautifully, obviously, before the match does start, Seth and Roman do that little fist bumpy thing.
Pyro again, AR. So they've it's good to see that they're continuing
it.
that from the season premiere last week.
Definitely. So good match, really good match. Obviously, seeing these two go head to head is something we don't see too often. Really good way to kick off the draft, obviously, to get your first picks in and stuff like that. Super fun. As the match is going on, though, back and forth, each other countering each other's big moves. I think there was a spear there, and Seth did this amazing little weird thing.
He dropped into
a modified pedigree. It was badass.
Yeah, so as Roman's gone for the drop, he's tucked himself in, grabbed the arms and scooped for the slam.
Yeah,
it's very
beautiful.
Good.
Yeah,
very
it was
cool.
really, really cool. And then the venue shuts down right as Seth's about to get ready for a stomp. And then next minute we see Seth, like weird angle, getting a mandible claw. There's only half of Bray Wyatt there. Oh, sorry, the Fiend. There's only half of the Fiend there. He's popped out from under the stage. Mandible claw on Seth Rollins. Pulled him into the ring. And then like the lights come on and there's nothing there. And then some smoke comes out. And then Seth Rollins comes jumping out like a jack in the box. And the Fiend just pops up and is like staring.
That was so stupid.
Oh,
I
it was
loved it.
so cheesy, and I absolutely loved it too. And he's just staring, and Seth's freaking out. Roman Reigns is nowhere to be seen. The venue shuts down again. Cuts back to like the Fiend up on the stage. Big white spotlight, obviously super eerie, and then the venue just shuts down. So this brings us to a video. They're just showing.
So we should mention this then has Seth Rollins win by DQ,
Yes.
which then puts SmackDown as the first to pick.
Yes, so the Fiend's involvement is classed as a Roman Reigns interference. Yeah.
Yes,
so
yeah.
That leads Raw getting the first pick. Stephanie McMahon.
So this is where a disqualification was allowed.
Yes.
Not in a Hell in a Cell match, right?
Right. So yeah, they're showing a video package of the Fox and USA teams in their own separate like boardrooms. Fox have the NFL robot guy there for some reason.
That was the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
It was so stupid, but it was still so fun.
All right, yeah, because like everyone's super excited, and like, they're all like doing the math and graphs and paperwork and write
Phone
pens
calls and stuff like that.
Like we'll break our kayfabe for a second. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
It was still a bit of fun though.
No
I had
their
some
acting
fun
was
with
a
it.
I understand in order to get a room of people to look like actors in a boardroom, like they could have hired anyone else. It was very rough. All right, kayfabe back.
I had a bit of fun of it. I got a bit
kayfabe.
I loved it. So they do show us the draft rules. Stephanie McMahon comes out. She explains what's going on. She mentions the draft rules. The rules are over 70 superstars have been placed into this year's WWE Draft. 30 superstars are eligible to be drafted tonight. 40 superstars on Monday Night Raw.
So it was so X number of rounds of 5. Yeah,
exactly.
6 rounds of 5.
Yeah. For every 2 picks that SmackDown has, Raw will get 3. Obviously, again, longer show, needs more superstars. Tag teams will be counted as 1 pick unless Fox or USA Network specifically want the picked just 1 superstar from that team. Any undrafted superstars will immediately be declared free agents and able to sign with the brand of their choosing. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that brings us back to Stephanie McMahon talking us through the first picks. So as expected, the first pick of the night for Raw is Becky Lynch.
Understandable. She's the biggest, hottest commodity in WWE right now.
And she's also the Raw Women's Champion.
Exactly. So you'd want. So that's the one thing you'd want to do. If you were Raw, you'd want to take that pick, because if she was pulled across, she would then presumably have to forfeit her title, right?
Exactly. SmackDown's first pick is, of course, the face of SmackDown, the big dog, Roman Reigns.
So this is interesting, because I thought by having them fight on behalf of each brand, like Seth versus Roman, I was under the impression that they were just given that these are the ones,
and that's what I thought
like the
too.
team captains, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too, but apparently
very
not.
weird that they didn't. Yeah.
Raw's second pick was the entirety of the OC.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, all 3 of them to Raw.
Interesting. I wouldn't have got them as a second round pick personally. My second round pick probably would have been someone a little bit more important, like the likes of Bray Wyatt, or because in terms of, if you think of as a company, what's the better decision? Who are the better superstars? Because as of right now, the OC, they've got some legacy behind it, but they aren't doing well. They're forever losing. That they I know wins and losses don't really count in WWE, but for us they do, and their lose rate is way too high right now for them to be a second round pick.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that though, because SmackDown's second round pick was Bray Wyatt.
Massive surprise there by me.
Yeah. Well, Bray Wyatt isn't currently with the brand.
Yeah,
so we have
been
no idea where he was going. Yeah, we had no idea where he was going.
And Killer Box brings up a good point. Of course, the 2 cover superstars, 2K20 were the first picks.
Of course,
makes sense.
Bang on. But yeah, I'm excited to see Bray Wyatt on SmackDown.
I think it's cool because there's a couple of things that are good for me here. One, it separates him from Seth, which is cool, because with the kind of the controversial nature of Hell in a Cell, it's kind of nice to have them apart.
Separate yourself from it as far as you can.
And it's just, in terms of who Seth could like get up in the shits with, I think Pro SmackDown's probably a good bit of fun for people to get involved with.
Yeah, definitely.
However, I think with the idea of Raw, I thought Raw would be the better place for him, because they are trying to go that more sports route with SmackDown, and I think the Fiend,
he's more of a character,
doesn't quite fit that. not in a sportsy feel.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So that's an interesting decision.
Yeah. And finally, Raw's final pick for the first round is the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre.
I was really happy to hear this.
I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Drew McIntyre to be named at all, to be honest with you.
So we haven't
Not
seen Drew
yet
in a
anyway.
while. Drew is off injured.
But that was exciting.
Yeah, no, that makes me incredibly happy.
Yeah.
He is fantastic. He had a little bit of a shit time there and sort of just being lumped in with Shane McMahon as well as Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
I do think when he comes back from injury, he will have a fire in his belly.
Yeah.
And I think he will just be ready to Claymore kick everybody. And, I think having him as in that first round, 100% totally a good pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think he will do a good. I think his chances are better on Raw, and I do hope within some window of time we will see him as Universal Champion.
Yeah,
and he totally has the ability to do so.
Definitely. This brings us to the draft panel. So they do have a draft panel for the evening of Renee Young and Booker T, who are hosting the what is it? The WWE Backstage show. I can't remember the name of it.
And Joe.
Yep, and they are joined by Beth Phoenix and Samoa Joe, which was really interesting because Samoa Joe was very neutral in this whole thing. Listening to him speak about the superstars and the draft picks and choices and stuff like that, this is not something we see from Samoa Joe. He's generally like a very sort of aggressive, very angry dude. I was expecting him to rip Fox and USA apart. You know, would have been funny. But no, completely neutral on it. I was like, who's this guy and where's Samoa Joe? But it was really cool at the same time seeing him be completely unbiased.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a lot of fun. I think he was like the only person I paid attention to when they were cutting back to the panel. Next we have King Corbin come out. We hear that really... the music you hate that I kind of love.
No.
I love that it starts Regal and then cuts back into his song. I just hate that it cuts into it in the middle of the song.
Yeah, look, for Thursday and Friday, my entire head was just King Corbin. As in the music, that was the music that was in my head for 2 days flat. Not the royally version, but the legit,
end of days
pretty
song.
Good end of days.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that song. I'm a moron.
Song.
But yeah, and I just clash with the no.
Yeah. Yep. But he comes out, and before the match even starts, he's like, I want to talk to you guys. I want to dress you before I make short work of Shorty McShorterson. And I immediately knew he was facing Chad Gable.
For the umpteenth time.
Exactly it. And he goes, I'm going to be a benevolent king, and I'm going to share my riches with you. And he's like, I'm just kidding. You ain't getting shit. And he goes on about how, he is King Corbin, and he's in charge, whatever. Same old King Corbin shit. And then... he gets interrupted as he's speaking by Chad Gable, who comes out with and the announcers are calling him Shorty Gable. They're calling him Shorty Gable, and I was like, is this like you have to do this, or is this? I was really confused. And then Chad Gable came out, and his Titantron even said Shorty Gable. He's fully embracing being called Shorty. And you told me you hated it, but I love it. I love it. I love that it's just so cheesy. Yeah, but
you need to stand tall with your short brethren.
I do, and I am standing tall with my short brethren. You saw the shoes I was wearing at PAX.
Yeah, very.
I am standing tall with my Shorty McShorterson.
Because it's an old thing for big people, in terms of WWE to focus on the height of competitors.
Yeah.
And it's
especially
boring.
with the stats of them coming out and stuff like that now. Yeah. So it just sort of digs in that sort of thing as well. Look, to be honest, because we've seen this so much, I wasn't really that interested in the match. It was a match. It was an alright match. King Corbin did get the win with an end of days. Yay! Which brings us to round 2 of the draft picks. So round 2, Raw take the Viper. RKO.
That was awesome.
I was super excited about Raw taking Randy.
It's very interesting because, at this point in time, all aside from Bray, which is because he was unassigned, everyone had picked who was already there, so it was unimpressive in that sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Where here, this is their first direct take from the competitor, and I like that.
Yep, exactly it. And Randy Orton too, beautiful choice.
How do you think Randy will go over on Raw?
I think there's more opportunities for Randy on Raw. I think he is a very strong competitor, and they do have a lot of strong competitors there. He really has sort of beaten his way through the roster on SmackDown. So
this, however, does separate him from the Revival.
Yes.
So we will be losing FTRKO.
Yes. interesting to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, because with the Revival being the SmackDown Tag Team Champs right now.
Yeah, I do prefer Randy as a standalone competitor, to be perfectly honest with you.
I thought they'd be a good competitor to the OC.
Yeah.
So as of right, in terms of little mini stable versus mini stable sort of thing, but that would be a bit of fun. But then it's sort of heel group versus heel group, and that's always not quite as fun.
Never goes as fun. SmackDown, take the boss, Sasha Banks.
Makes sense. Take her over. Get her with Bailey.
Yeah. Raw, take Ricochet.
Yeah, it was already there.
Yep, he was already there. Super exciting. SmackDown, take the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman.
That's another steal too. That's an excellent steal.
Yeah. So Fox with the steals tonight. Yeah. Obviously, they're coming out strong. They really want that strong team. Yeah. SmackDown are going to get these hands.
Yeah, and especially as we're getting into this current feud with Tyson Fury, ahead of Crown Jewel,
which I do announce tonight. That will be a thing at Crown Jewel.
And I do think Braun's 100% a good pick. He's kind of had his way with the Raw roster at this point.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of Universal Championship opportunities, and he hasn't really been able to deliver. So I think, although I do really want him to have a belt one day, his Universal Championship time is done.
Yeah, definitely.
So go to where you can start again.
Can agree. Then Raw take Bobby Lashley.
Cool. What I do wonder is this mean Lana?
Yeah.
Is with him?
Yeah, the curiosity
because they're straight up banging right now.
Yeah, exactly it. What's going to happen? We don't know.
Smooching and dry fucking on stages.
Because we don't know if Lana's going to come across or not. Like we don't know.
Because story took a back seat this week.
It really
ahead
did,
of the draft, but
of course,
I'd be very keen for some updates to come next week.
I mean, a lot of things did. This episode was quite heavily focused on the draft. Understandably so. It is the draft episode. It's the draft week. True. Yeah. So next we do go back to the panel, and they discuss the whole Tyson Fury Braun Strowman. They show a little video package of it. You see Braun backstage on the phone having a laugh, and Tyson pretending to box with some manager looking dude, and doing Braun, and it's all just for the announcement of the Crown Jewels. I was like, this is unneeded. We could have put something else here. Anyway.
Crown Jewel, not Crown Jewels. Crown Jewels is a ball bag.
Yeah,
Crown Jewel is a WWE pay-per-view.
Same. It is a ball bag of a pay-per-view, let's be honest. So, Crown Jewels. So we get a video package of the whole Kofi Braun thing from last week, and then
Brockman.
Brock, and the Cain Velasquez comes out with that whole thing. We saw it last week. Brock and Paul Heyman do come out. They obviously discuss any regular man who's afraid will quiver and shake and run away. Brock Lesnar doesn't do that. Brock Lesnar faces his fears face on and head on, and
so he admits that he was scared, which is understandable.
He does admit that he was scared, but he's I didn't know how far back this feud went with Cain Velasquez. 9 years or something, isn't it? Yep, 2010. And I didn't realize how severe it was because I haven't looked anything into it.
Oh, it fucked his face up.
And Paul Heyman talks about it as well. He's he victimized and brutalized, and he tried to kill my client and where and all this. And he's but Paul, Brock's not going to back down from this fight, and he's not afraid. And then as he's speaking, Rey Mysterio obviously.
Yeah, so before we jump into that, so what was actually really fascinating is Paul Heyman was talking about the scar that was on Brock's cheek from where it blew apart from Cain Velasquez.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, they put that scar on.
Yeah.
I went back.
I thought that too.
And in almost a Mandela effect style, I'm looking at all these photos, I'm like, yeah, no, there's a big scar on his face.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because up to this point, I never noticed it.
Well, I didn't even notice it then because, I completely, zoned out on him mentioning it. And, as Paul's talking, Rey Mysterio comes out with Cain Velasquez. Rey has a little bit to say. Cain says something in Spanish. Rey translates it to Cain is going to give Brock a matching scar on the other side of his face. And it's because Ray's did you forget about this though? And they show photos from back in 2010. And same time of year, October 2010 was this fight. He Cain Velasquez brutalized Brock Lesnar, ripped his face open. Seeing Brock with facial hair was interesting. Anyway, side note.
We had facial hair a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, I mean proper he had that big face. Yeah. But fully blew apart his face. It looked like he was missing teeth and stuff after that match. Almost killed the guy. It looked like it. And you see this photo of Brock with this big blowout. Yep. Massive red thing here where he's clearly split his face open brutally. And I was like, oh, damn. And then, Ray's like, oh, he says he's going to bust your face open again. And it cuts back to Brock. And that's when I noticed the scar. And I was like, I never noticed that before.
Yeah. And because I did the same thing, because I was sitting there with Craig and Dylan. And Dylan was like, has he always had that scar? I'm like, I don't know. So I Googled it. And I'm like, yeah, no, he has.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, I didn't know that. So that was really interesting. And I'm actually kind of really interested to see this, 9 years apart, different industries, same feud. That's really cool. That is some cool long-term storytelling that is probably not intentional either.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah. Then as this all shuts down, we cut to the gorilla position, as they like to call it. And, Sin City, don't you dare be sour. The New Day do their little intro. They will be facing the OC. This is announced as they're coming out.
First and last time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Apparently.
Yeah, exactly it. So before they come out, we see Pink backstage talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They have some pink women's championship belts there, and I was like, what's going on here? And they show a video package of sisters. One sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. The other sister was obviously the support and stuff like that. Beautiful story. I was a little bit weepy. I get that stuff really gets me. And they announced that they have these championships for these two. They bring them out and they're like, these are for you, your champions, your fighters, your survivors. This is for you. Super sweet, super beautiful. What's the word I'm looking for? Sentiment is the word. Yeah. And then they go, look, if you'll excuse us, ladies, we have to go put some hurting on the OC. And the chick grabs, the cancer survivor, I believe her name was Samantha, and her sister was Sarah. She's like, why? And Woods is like, why, you ask? What'd he say? Shit. I've got it here. My brain just blanked out. He's like, oh, yeah, why? Oh, my gosh.
I don't remember.
I've forgotten. And I thought it was the greatest. Oh, yeah, he's like, oh, why? And then he just drops the microphone, and he's like, because, and everybody starts chanting, New Day Rocks. Yeah. And, yep, they move down to the ring. That's it. OC come out. It's a match. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong.
Kofi seems to have not got any remorse, any sadness about losing the belt last week.
No, not
at all. A little bit.
Nah.
6 months of intense fighting and toiling and sorrow and happiness and angst.
But that's the power of positivity.
That's a good point.
That's the power of positivity. You understand, you deal with your situation, you move on from it and move on to the next thing. So that was great. One thing I have noticed lately, and I hate the trend of it, is Paul Xavier Woods is a punching bag. He's the guy that always gets the absolute piss beat out of him every match. And this match was exactly the same. But I sort of lost track. Everything happened so fast that all of a sudden everybody was out of the ring and it was AJ versus Kofi. Which is great because those two are so fast. And I was the entire time darting around whoa.
So it's one of those things in terms of tacticalness, it makes sense. If you're in a tag team and you're who is the smallest here? This guy's a champion. Obviously he can fight. Big E is ginormous. His name is Big E.
Yeah.
All right, Woods, you got curly shoes.
And an afro.
The tactics there are solid.
Sounds,
yeah.
But, we all know Woods is stronger
but
than that.
the speed of AJ and Kofi was awesome.
Yeah,
really
I always forget how fast those two can move.
It was really cool. A lot of countering work was going on, which was really impressive.
Definitely. Kofi does end up picking the win with the Trouble in Paradise, which is awesome to see the New Day pick up the win. And we move on.
See, once again, if I was Raw, I would be 100% questioning my decision there of having the OC be my second pick.
Exactly. And
one absolute waste of a second pick. And losing that
night. Yeah, they would be very disappointed in that. Round 3 picks come into play. Raw's first choice is the goddess, Alexa Bliss.
Good
choice, Raw. Good choice. She's making her way back over. While SmackDown...
She never left.
No, she went to SmackDown.
I think so.
I swear she did.
Mm-mm.
I can't remember.
No, because she didn't. Because remember when the Miz came across during the Superstar Shake-Up earlier in the year, it's 2 talk shows on the one show, but then Wildcard Raw happens.
And Wildcard. Yeah, that was all over the place. I think that's why I get so confused. The Wildcard just really dicked me out. So confusing. SmackDown take on Lacey Evans.
Good.
The lady.
Good decision.
Yeah.
Bring her across, get her involved. There's not a lot there. I think there's more for Lacey to do over on SmackDown.
I definitely think so.
Call.
Yep, especially because she went so hard so quickly on Raw. SmackDown's
I agree.
She's got a ladder to climb there and she's got more potential to do amazing things over there, for sure.
And as she has been improving, I'm happy with it.
And then Raw's next pick, Stephanie McMahon does make a beautiful little statement about it. Keela did just mention it. Steph is and Raw choose the man who fired my brother, Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens going to
Kevin
Raw.
Owens is going to Raw. Which,
Works for
again,
me, man.
Beautiful pick because he's done so much on SmackDown as it is now. Obviously getting rid of Shane McMahon and things like that. He's got new things to do on a new brand.
And I think this new, this return of the fire Kevin Owens, I think works on that Raw, on Raw and people with Raw. I think think he's a good chance.
So earlier in the night, you did mention the Revival, the SmackDown Championships. SmackDown retain the SmackDown Champions,
They do.
of course. So the Revival stay for SmackDown. And Raw's final pick for round 3 is the Queen of Hearts, Natalya.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely does.
Once again, the Natalya Lacey feud has ended.
Yep.
Game separated.
Yep.
Because it's one of those things you just don't want to happen again. There's
exactly.
Still some bad blood there at the end of that feud. Separate them.
Definitely.
That's fine.
Yep. They can move on from that. We get a little video package of Charlotte Flair backstage getting ready with her 10th championship.
Mm-hmm.
10. I love the Charlotte 10, like the Shawn Spears, is it? The perfection thing. I love that. The 10 with the IO. That's super cool. What confused me about this though is there's no automatic rematches.
No.
But Bayley's got an automatic rematch.
Mm-hmm. So the rules don't matter.
Excuse me?
Yep.
No. I was pissed.
It was about this time a year ago when they announced that
no automatic rematches.
No automatic rematches. The power is within the universe, not within the corporate. Then we proceeded to have an entire run about the authority with Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
So they lied.
Yeah, they did, and I'm pissed because I don't know about you, but I didn't want to see this again.
No.
We've seen it. Whatever. Round 4 draft picks happen. Round 4 draft picks are Raw taking the Viking Raiders.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. SmackDown take the Lucha House Party.
Why would
Nobody cares.
Why would you bother picking them?
The first thing I said was why?
Yeah, I literally said out loud. Why?
Yep. I was the same.
They would be one that you should pick off camera at the end of the event.
Let them be free agents and let them go wherever they want to, because nobody wants you.
No one cares. Understandably, with 205 looking like it's been done, these guys need a new home, but
yeah. When
because the draft pick implies importance, and they have done nothing to earn importance.
Yep, exactly it. Corey Graves did make a statement when Raw picked Alexa Bliss, what happens with Nikki Cross? What's going on here? Luckily, Raw's pick is Nikki Cross.
Yay!
So I was like, yay, Alexa and Nikki can stay together.
That's true, they're not getting separated.
Yeah, I'm really excited by that. SmackDown, take Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery
makes sense. Once again, wouldn't have any other way.
I definitely wouldn't either.
Killer in the chat says USA Network didn't get the memo about women's tag teams because presumably, why was Alexa and Nikki separated?
Yeah,
they should have been kept together.
Yeah,
I imagine Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose be picked together.
Yeah,
if they ever get draft picked.
I think it was just building a little suspense. I think they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but this is the thing. If in that drafting situation, you don't leave that up to chance.
Yeah,
if you want to secure that team, you pick the two of them because it's one of those things. If the way a draft works is if you pick one, I pick one. So say I wanted Becky, but you pick Becky first. I'm like, fuck, so Becky's out of the chance for me. So then I pick who I think number one would be. And the same thing, you could do that tactically as well. If you're like, I'm going to take Alexa, and be like, well, fuck you, I'm taking Nikki.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in a draft situation, you should not leave that to chance.
Yeah.
Because they are a good tag team. You should take them as said tag team.
Yeah.
He also adds, unless Bischoff has some plans for Lucha House Party, which could be true.
That could be true. That definitely could be true. One thing I did have a bit of a giggle at was Corey Graves did mention, what the hell are Fox doing? They're going to have to have a bigger catering bill to have Heavy Machinery stay.
Big time. They have the Fox money. No. They eat lots of meat. Meat's very expensive.
Yeah.
Steaks and wings, baby.
That's true. But I'm all about it. Raw do pick, and this I got really excited about when they announced it. The Street Profits.
Yeah.
They are coming across officially. They have their place, and I can't wait to see them wrestle.
This was actually impressive because there was
so hyped.
Kind of discussion around no NXT draft picks.
Yeah.
So it was very cool to see Street Profits. I got quite excited as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it kind of makes sense with them being around a lot. So they've done the smart play here.
Yeah.
They've turned up at Raw and they've freelance themselves out, and they made themselves indispensable.
Yeah.
Like they got themselves put into a place where they're like, hey, we're here, we're killing it on TV.
Yeah.
Why would you not want us?
Yeah, you need us. That's awesome game plan by them. I'm so excited to see
Smart move.
that. So excited to see that. That does cut us back to our draft panel, obviously having a talk about that as well. And finally, we have the final match of the night, Charlotte Flair versus Bayley for the WWE.
Yes, that was all draft picks for the evening.
That was the last. Yep, that was the final round for the evening. Bayley comes out, normal entrance, super exciting.
Yeah, wasn't Charlotte coming first?
Charlotte comes in first, yeah. And then Bayley does come out. She's got a hoodie on for some reason. And she starts moving real slow, and she starts taking her jacket off at the top of the ramp, and she pulls her hoodie down, and she's got short hair.
A bob cut.
She's cut all her hair off.
No, this side ponytail no more.
No side pony, and she sort of starts to slowly back away, and she looks at the floor behind the Bayley buddies, I believe they're called. She picks up this weird looking thing that's
it's like an axe handle with scissors. It's something
like
you'd find in The Last
ends.
of Us.
Yeah. Something like Dead Rising or whatever it is.
Yeah,
where you like
Dead
pick up
Rising.
random
They
tools
just duct tape two random
Left 4 Dead
items
and all
together.
that
Now
sort
it's a
of
weapon.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly it. That sort of thing.
Raw got the smoke indeed, says Killer.
They did get the smoke. And Bayley just snaps. And she starts cutting down the Bayley buddies, like tearing them apart, kicking and screaming. She picks up one of the things and throws it on the floor. Like,
they cut to like kids in the crowd literally crying. I saw a video on Twitter of like a guy he's like, this isn't going down well in my household, and it's got like a video of Bayley, and then cuts to the kid like bawling its eyes out, and I was like, my heart. Yeah, she absolutely flips. And what I found the funniest about this whole situation is Charlotte standing in the ring like, I'm unhappy about this.
What are you, 10? Like, grow up. We've got a match to do. She's just like, okay, come on.
She proved a point. That's fine.
Yeah, but she did prove a point. Obviously, Bayley, we're seeing a different side of Bayley now. Like, what's Bayley going to do? Match kicks off. Beautiful match. It was a good match.
I enjoyed it.
Honestly, I didn't think much of it initially, but I did really enjoy it. Especially, Bayley must have done something brutal to Charlotte, because she was bleeding from her face. Blew her face out. And Charlotte's just like, and just smears blood all over her face. And I was like, yeah, Charlotte, I love that. At one point, Charlotte goes to throw Bayley at the banisters, and you hear her yell at the camera guy, move! And I'm like, yeah. Like, I love Charlotte.
Acknowledging the cameras is cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It gives that realness to it.
That sports feel.
Yeah, that really brings it into it really makes me obviously everybody gets oh, WWE sucks because it's fake and it's scripted and things like that. That's totally candid. I love that. It goes to show that it is real. Real things happen. They yell at camera people to get out of the way so they could do things to brutalize their opponent. Don't at me. It's real.
It's real to me, damn it.
Exactly it. But yeah, a beautiful natural selection at some point, and Charlotte goes for the figure eight, I believe it is. She goes to get prepped for the figure eight, and Bayley just grabs 2 handfuls of hair and yanks her underneath her and rolls her up. 1, 2, 3. Bayley is the new SmackDown champion. Not expecting that.
No.
Not expecting that.
All right, kayfabe curtain gone. Why the fuck though? But this is the issue that I'm having here. Why give it to Charlotte last week? What's the point? What's it prove? Well, aside from the 10 thing, which is a cool novelty, I guess.
Yeah.
But you could still have Bayley do the same
same
heel turn without it, right? And
it'd be more it'd be more warranted without it too.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's the situation of as of right now, Charlotte has 3 reigns ahead of anybody else.
Exactly.
And it completely decimates that differential. So the idea of someone having more title reigns is almost void now.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're at least a year, 2 years ahead, and presuming Charlotte doesn't get the title again between now and then, or any title between now and then.
There you go.
So that's really confusing for me.
Yeah.
I understand it was just to get the heel turn on Bayley. Could have been done without her losing the belt.
But I don't think so. I think this makes Bayley come off strong. Very, very, very strong. Obviously, we know Charlotte is a heel. Charlotte is a very strong heel. Having Bayley take that from her proves how strong Bayley can be.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think, for me, it makes sense.
I feel they could have gone another way.
Yeah.
I don't think Charlotte should have been the one
Yeah.
But then again, for what you're saying, if giving it to Charlotte and having Bayley go over Charlotte kind of makes her...
It gives her that strength.
It gives her that oomph. But I think there could have been somebody else.
Yeah.
You know.
That's fair.
Okay, going back.
But yeah, I agree. So Bayley, you hear her say bitches, and it cuts to her in the middle of the ring with a microphone, and everyone's like, what?
She's like seconds from like, fuck all of you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And yep, she's just standing there, and she's looking around, and she's like, screw all of you. Drops the mic and leaves.
That's credits, isn't it?
And that's it.
Yeah, man.
That was the end of the show. Bayley telling everybody to get screwed. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that because, again, it's giving Bayley strength. She is strong. I hate the haircut. Gonna be perfectly...
I love the haircut. That was good.
I don't think it suits her at all.
No, I'm down with it. I liked her hair with longer, but when it was not in the ponytail, she looked. I think she looked quite lovely.
Yeah.
Especially when she was on red carpets and whatnot and doing all nicey dressy things. Like the long hair was cool.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this.
One thing I did love though is obviously she's embracing her new hair because you do see her throughout the match like running her fingers through it, and it's just like you feel yourself.
And you can tell that shit was like freshly cut and dyed.
Yeah.
Because that shit was shiny.
Yeah, it was
tidy.
So shiny. It was so perfectly styled. It was beautiful. You know what? At the end of the show, I loved it.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought nothing of that match, and now I'm just like, I want to keep an eye on Bayley.
Yeah. But as we end the thoughts on a rating. We are Kurt Angle rating because Kurt Angle looks like a thumb. We review it out of 2 thumbs. 2 Kurt Angles. What would you score it?
Look, there was less action, obviously, with the draft going on. There was only 3 matches for the night. I'm not too sure how I felt about it. I'd probably go straight down the line and give it a 1. Like, even though I'm excited about the draft and stuff like that, obviously I'm quite engaged in the sports side of things. I love watching matches. I love seeing all that sort of stuff, and the draft did take away from that. I think it could have been handled a lot better or done a bit differently. But yeah, I'd say a straight up 1 Kurt.
Yeah, look, I'm in the middle there because I'm unsure whether it's a Kurt and a Cassidy or Kurt and a Bar. I'm probably gonna go with Kurt. I think.
Yeah.
And it mostly comes from the similar to yourself. Like the draft part was awesome. I enjoyed the picks. I didn't know how I thought about it in my head, but I didn't think it was going to be just Stephanie McMahon walking out reading a list. I thought there was going to be a little bit more pageantry to it.
I agree with that.
However, the matches were okay.
Yeah.
The Shorty Gable stuff made me want to vomit. The Bayley stuff was brilliant.
Yeah.
The match at the start of the night was all right. It was there was just some mishandling, especially when they kept cutting back to the room being like yes.
Yeah, that stuff was a bit, and that sort of dampened it for me as well. Killer did just say in this why
he gives a couple of things actually. So he goes, so over the years Charlotte has become the ultimate transitional champion. Her last 3 reigns had her holding the belt to hand over to a new champion. Good point. Charlotte took the title off Asuka to then hand it to Becky. That's correct.
Yep.
Then she got the title off Becky to have Bayley cash in, and now this. Not good for I understand it's good that Charlotte can put people over like that, but it's also once again put her ahead for no unnecessary reason.
Yes.
Bayley had the Karen haircut, aka I want to speak to your manager. That's it. Her and Sasha just go and speak to managers now.
Yeah.
And Killer also gives it 1 Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, Yep, the Karen haircut. It's the Karen haircut. I want to speak to your manager.
I enjoyed it.
I want to speak to Vince McMahon because I deserve another title match because I've got the Karen haircut. That's what it feels like. That feels like why she got the title reign was she got the haircut and wanted to speak to her manager.
That's fine by me. So, as we do every week, we wrap the show up with our good friend Dash. He goes and scours the internet and finds a list of the things, wrestling-related news, gossip, whatever he can find, puts it together for us and gives us a nice little package to read the wrestlers on. So here it is. Number 1, wrestlers already sick of Fox. WrestlingNews.co is reporting that some people backstage in WWE weren't impressed with the celebrity NFL segments on this week's SmackDown Live. And I agree with them. They fucking suck balls.
I agree.
The thought process was that segments didn't look realistic and the celebrities clearly had little knowledge of WWE product. Agreed.
Agree.
One anonymous wrestler gave the following statement. WWE can't help themselves. It always makes me cringe when you see them trying so hard to show everyone how mainstream they are. Yeah. It actually makes the company look worse because it is so obvious to people watching at home the NFL guys being asked to talk about WWE don't know anything about current wrestling. We'll never shake off the stigma with mainstream media if Vince keeps scripting silly stuff on the shows. Bam! Big old bam!
Big old thumbs up.
Yeah,
agree.
man.
Entirely agree.
Now, this next one.
I blanked most of it out because it was irrelevant.
Do you have any comments of that?
Oh, well, look, I blanked most of that out because it was totally irrelevant and would have made the show unnecessarily long if I mentioned every segment they had with some nobody NFL star talky person talking about it. Whatever.
Excellent. Now, this one. WWE's.com's initial post of the 2019 draft pools for Raw and SmackDown had possibly spoiled the outcome of Monday's Raw draft results.
Ooh.
The draft moves around on SmackDown ended up being revealed almost exactly in order as it was listed on WWE's website. WWE ended up changing the draft pool list to be in alphabetical order. If the initial list is correct, which Dashes scoured the internet and source, and it's since been removed, this could be how the Raw draft picks are revealed on Monday's Raw, according to Dash's sources.
Ooh.
Now, we should also mention that after the closing of SmackDown, EC3, Eric Young, and it's in the chat here. It came from Killer earlier. EC3, Eric Young, and Sin Cara were drafted to Raw. Apollo Crews, Drew Gulak, Heath Slater, and Tamina and the B team went to SmackDown. Apart from Tamina and the B team, everyone kind of went where they already were.
Yes.
So not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
Now, once again, because of Dash's power and his knowledge base, this could potentially be spoilers.
Ooh.
But once again,
what does Paul Heyman say? It's not a prediction.
It's a
spoiler.
So with as I said, with Dash's multiple sources, he's reached out and this is what he's pulled together into one potential list. Mm-hmm. First round, Seth Rollins to Raw.
Of course.
Brock Lesnar to SmackDown.
Ooh.
Makes sense. He's got a championship.
Yeah. Sure.
Both of them have belts. Makes sense.
Of course. Duh.
Charlotte Flair to Raw.
Ooh.
Titus O'Neil to SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Why?
Yep.
Nakamura with Sami Zayn to Raw.
Interesting.
So
Presumably
bringing the Intercontinental Championship over.
Of course.
Or keeping it there. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows at this point. Interesting.
Which also, why not keep the US? Oh. Damn.
Oh.
If Dash is correct, that would bring the Intercontinental Championship and the USA Championship to Raw.
Ooh.
So what's the deal? Is there going to be a match for one of them? Like, will it have to? Like, how can they keep both mid-card belts on the one show? Interesting there. Round 2. Aleister Black to Raw.
Ooh.
The New Day to SmackDown.
Of course.
Daniel Bryan to Raw.
Wow, that's a good pick.
Bayley to SmackDown. Champion makes sense. Luke Harper to Raw.
Ooh.
Interesting picks there. Daniel Bryan, huge. Luke Harper coming across as well. We predicted the Bryan family.
Yeah.
Maybe they're working something there. But
who knows?
Aleister Black, fantastic. I think he works way better on Raw.
Definitely.
Although he does have that sort of MMA, kickboxing style that would have worked in the sports style of SmackDown.
Of course.
However, I think the gimmick of him would work better on Raw. Third round. Mm-hmm. Eric Rowan to Raw.
Ooh.
Adding speculation fuel to that fire.
Definitely.
The Miz returns to SmackDown.
Woohoo.
Ali moves over to Raw.
Interesting.
King Corbin moves to SmackDown.
Ooh.
And what was the number one acquisition to SmackDown during the shakeup? Elias returns to Raw. Makes sense. Sport feel. Elias doesn't kind of fit that. He fits that old gimmicky style. Makes sense for him to come over there.
Definitely.
King Corbin on SmackDown. Once again, I think Corbin's done as much as he can on Raw.
Yeah.
I think that's a good win
I
there.
agree.
Ali, whatever. Miz, whatever. Mm-hmm. Fine by me.
Yeah.
The round 1, 2, 3, 4. The current tag team champions, Rude and Ziggler, or Rudolph, stay on Raw.
Of course.
Samoa Joe moves to SmackDown.
Interesting.
Asuka and Kairi Sane as a pair.
Yes.
To Raw.
Yeah.
Rusev to SmackDown.
Ooh. Bobby Lashley's on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Cedric Alexander remains on Raw.
Nice.
Interesting. So the Rusev Bobby Lashley thing going on.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because as it's been alluded to, the split here is 100%.
Yeah, 100% split.
No drifting between the two.
Yep.
Rey Mysterio to Raw.
Ooh, interesting.
Truth to SmackDown.
Ah.
Carmella to Raw.
No. No. I'm bummed out about that. I love the Truth Mellow combo. Aww.
AOP, Acom and Razor. Acom and Razor.
Yep.
SmackDown.
Nice.
This mentions here Heavy Machinery to Raw, which has been interesting because they've already been selected at this point.
Yeah, they've been drafted,
maybe
so that can't work.
a little bit weirdy there. Yes, that's interesting there, Dash.
Because I was literally just thinking AOP would be awesome against Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, and there's already a contradiction here because Apollo Crews to Raw. Since being announced that he's gone to SmackDown. So there's a little bit here that's a bit questionable.
Yep.
Andrade to remain on SmackDown. With Charlotte, once again with Charlotte moving to Raw. That's interesting because that's during the Superstar Shake-Up there was that switch back.
Yeah.
Because of the relationship between Charlotte and Andrade.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan to Raw.
Just Liv. Very interesting.
Jinder Mahal to SmackDown.
I forgot he existed.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. The best kept secret, Buddy Murphy, goes to Raw.
Awesome. Because he's SmackDown currently, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Mojo Rawley to Raw for some reason. No Way Jose to SmackDown for some reason.
Well, see, I don't think that Buddy's going to go to Raw because with Raw being announced and then SmackDown coming out, like, Buddy Murphy's our guy. He's going to be here for that. He has to be. I'm saying he has to be, so he's not going to
Raw. Dana Brooke to Raw. Shelton Benjamin to SmackDown.
Meh.
Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder remain on Raw.
Nice.
Final round. The Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, move to Raw.
I'd like to see them.
Sarah Logan, separate from her Riot Squad brethren, goes to SmackDown.
Wow, they're splitting the Riot Squad.
Fire and Desire remain a team. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, except now they're on Raw.
Interesting.
And Drake Maverick moves to SmackDown.
Well then.
And Dash says it is possible with this information coming out, WWE may change plans with some of these picks because he has collected them from varying sources.
Yeah, which we've obviously already picked up some inconsistencies.
Yes, there's some inconsistencies there, and this may have just been some stuff that was collated because I said with Dash, if you noticed last week, we didn't do any of our. We missed our regular Raw show.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of this would have come from that Raw show that we did.
Definitely.
We would have done, but we were at PAX, so we couldn't do it.
PAX, yep. PAX will do that too.
It was very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And finally, that's some AEW news, but we'll get to that after the show. So there you go. That's all the dirt sheet. That brings us to the end of the show.
It does.
So we'll see you guys Thursday for our Raw show. That'll just be me this week.
Yes.
You have a gig on the Wednesday night, so just be me.
Yeah.
Fun and games.
Yep.
I could bring like Max or something in.
You definitely could.
Ooh, I might bring Max in.
Bring in a guest.
Oh, no, he starts work at like 8, so he goes to bed at like 8. Oh no, I'll have a talk to him. See what he wants to do. But this show, the Young and the Restless SmackDown comes to you every Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on your YouTubes. Changing the pitch is really kind of throwing me out.
Yeah.
Fucking splitting days and stuff.
You can do this.
So 9 a.m. on the YouTubes. If you want to join the wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/group/thepopculturist. Chat to us on Twitter or Discord. Links are in the description below. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist. Support us at any dollar value, and you get yourself a nice little link to where you can watch us record this show, the Raw show, the pay-per-view shows, as well as our PlayStation show for the players on a weekend. Then we should mention, because of those lovely people that support us on Patreon, you have been able to allow us to pick up a microphone. So this week I purchased an USB version of this mic, the Audio-Technica AT2020 USB for yourself. So Jem will be able to record from her house in for the show. So that way she doesn't have to hike as much. So if she does have a gig, we can still work around that sort of stuff. So a big thank you to everyone that does support us on Patreon.
Thank you
Your
so
names
much.
are always at the end of our shows. I can't even put the words in how grateful we are that you guys continue to support us on a weekly basis, regardless of whatever show you watch. Thank you so much for supporting us. It helps make things like this possible. And when we endeavored to start this a good couple of years ago, in no way did we thought people would want to pay money for this stuff. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
But if you want to support us in more one-stop fashion, because people apparently buy merch from us too, head over to popcultures.com/shop where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. I have some new designs in the works. I met up with our resident designer, Pixel. What was it? Pixel Beast? Pixel Beast. I almost said Pixel Life, but something different. Pixel Beast, good old James Parry. We had a chat over PAX weekend because we need some designs with your fucking face on them.
Yeah.
Right now it's just the three of us, so it's just Dylan, Josh, and myself. But there's 4 of us now. So we get used to want some shirts. We are also on Twitch, twitch.tv/The Pop Cultures, where we move to Thursdays now. Thursday evenings, 8 p.m.
Woo.
I might do Concrete Genie this week, sort of VR mode. So if I can't get Max for wrestling on the Wednesday, might get him over to come do some VR with me on the Thursday.
Awesome.
But yeah, once again, end of the show. So until next week, I'm Ryan Betson, as I just chin the microphone.
And I'm Jem.
And we'll see you then.
Bye.
The Young and the Restless, the Pop Cultures WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.